got our bacon, leftover bacon fat from this morning, and what I'm going to do to that is I'm going to add what we call the trinity, which is celery, onions, and bell pepper. And these are frozen, so the water in them is going to cause this to pop a little bit. I'm going to keep the heat down, and 'cause we just want to saute these and bring the flavors out. And I'm going to heat this up and just, you don't need very much, because what we're really going for is flavor here. Okay, and then we're going to add a little bit of minced garlic. And I just have it in a squeezable bottle, so it's easier for me. Just a little bit, maybe a full teaspoon of that, and we're going to let that saute up. And then we'll sear our meat real good. And let me get that going, and I'll be back and show you how I season the meat. Okay, all I've done is put some salt and pepper. I didn't put a lot of salt because your bacon fat's going to have an enormous amount of salt in it. So you don't want to add a lot of extra. You can't take salt out, but you can always add salt in. And then I'm going to shake a little bit of Creole seasoning on these. These are pork sirloin chops, and they're relatively inexpensive. These are organic, and a package of 2 is $4.67, so I have 4 here. And this will feed at least 4 people, a good healthy meal. And so I've got salt and pepper, some Creole seasoning on here, and I'm going to dust them with some flour. This was one of my grandmother's go-to suppers when I was growing up. You know, we always had pork chops and gravy, or pork and gravy, and she always made sure there was biscuits and gravy with a protein, a meat. And then what we'll do is we're going to sear these on each side and brown them up before we put them into the crock pot. And this is just AP flour. And I'm just going to let that sit on here for a minute. You could put these in a Ziploc bag and dust them that way. This is just how I do it. Just less to clean, less to dirty up. This is an inexpensive meal. So let's get back over to our onions, garlic, or our trinity and our garlic, and let's see how that's going. Okay, so we've got the bacon fat really going after the onions and browning those up. I'm going to take the sirloin and I'm going to just lay them inside the fat on the floured side. Make sure it's on the floured side. I think they'll all fit in that skillet, I'm pretty sure. We'll make them fit. Scooch them around. And what we're looking for is just a sear. We're going to turn the fire up a little bit. Sorry about my arm. This is a 12-inch skillet, but you might need a good 14-inch skillet to do these if you're doing the exact size pork. I'm going to make them fit in here because I've done this before and they will fit. Because we're not looking to cook them in this skillet, we're going to just sear them and brown them up. Okay, and then on the raw meat side, we're just going to sprinkle the flour. I'm not going to salt and pepper this side because we're going to add more seasonings into the crock pot. Same thing, and any extra flour, all that's going to do is thicken the gravy, so don't worry about it. These aren't fried pork chops, they're just pork sirloin chops, and we're gonna cook them for about 4 hours in the crock pot. They're just gonna fall apart, and they're gonna be rich with brown gravy. It'll just, you'll think you've died and gone to heaven. This is a really good, you know, hearty meal. Not a healthy meal, so we've got a lot of bacon fat here, but I'm just really trying to get this to brown up. So we'll come back when they're browned up and show you. We're going to transfer them over into the crock pot. Okay, I've lightly browned the pork, and I put a little bit of water that's been heating up in my crock pot. I preheat everything, and it's probably 2 cups of water. Putting in all the chops. So we've just seared it off. I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of flour in here. I'm going to sprinkle some cumin and a dash of allspice. And we're going to put the lid on this and let this cook down for 4 hours, 4.5 hours. You could even go to 5. Just watch your levels of water. I'm wanting a really thick gravy, so I didn't put the water all the way over on top of the meat. I want it to cook down. So we'll be back when the pork chops are ready to eat. Okay, our pork sirloin steaks have been cooking now for about 4 hours, and they're pretty much falling apart. And this is the gravy that they've been cooking in. My husband's already fixed his plate, so you're going to notice there's one missing. So I'm going to go ahead and make my plate, huh? 1.5, okay. And here's our finished product. We have sweet potatoes, we have cornbread dressing, we have our pork sirloin chop, and we'll add a piece of garlic bread to finish off our meal. I hope you enjoyed this video. You'll join us next time. Please like and subscribe to our channels for more recipes and more adventures. Everybody have a blessed day.